Welcome to today's Explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this because it's incredibly exciting. If you've ever used a chatbot to help you with homework or, just answer a quick trivia question, well, you already know a little bit about artificial intelligence. But today we are talking about an absolute game changer. We're looking at how AI is evolving from a basic, simple tool into literally a super smart science assistant. We are talking about something called Agentic AI. And trust me, it is absolutely the future of discovery.
To really wrap our heads around how huge this shift is, I want you to imagine something for a second. What is the actual difference between a calculator and, say, a brilliant, intelligent intern? Think about it. If you punch 5 times 5 into a calculator, you get 25. Boom. It's fast, it's a machine, it does exactly what you type in just one step. But imagine if, instead of a calculator, you had a super smart human helper, an intern. And you didn't just ask them for a math answer, but you said, hey, can you research the entire history of space travel, write a 10-page report on it, and then make me a really cool presentation for my science class tomorrow? See, the calculator can't do that. No way. But the smart helper, they absolutely can.
Which brings us to Section 1, Regular AI versus Agentic AI, the next evolution.
So normal AI, the kind you're probably used to messing around with right now, is just a simple request and response loop. You ask, hey, did this happen? And it spits out a quick text response in seconds. Like we said, it's basically a calculator. But Agentic AI, the smart helper, it's entirely different. When you give an AI agent a huge, complex question, it doesn't just blurt out an answer. It actually makes a plan. It'll spin out multiple mini-agents to go tackle different parts of your giant request, and then, this is the cool part, it brings it all back together into one enormous finished project for you.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, the Agent Brain Loop. Let's look at how these agents actually work.
Everything an AI agent does goes through this incredibly powerful 4-step loop. Think of it kind of like it's brain processing. Let's walk through it. Step 1 is perceive. When you hand it an enormous project, it goes out and collects data. It searches the web, looks at any research you gave it, and just gathers everything up. Step 2 is reason. It doesn't just guess here. It actually comes up with a step-by-step plan and creates subtasks for itself. Then, Step 3 is act. It rolls up its virtual sleeves, goes away, and actually generates the data, the text, or the images you ask for. But Step 4 is where the real magic happens. Learn.
See, in that 4th learn step, the AI actually looks at the work it just created and judges it. If it looks at a presentation it just built and realizes, oh man, this is completely wrong, or this looks terrible, it essentially says to itself, oh, that's rubbish, let me try again. And then it loops all the way back up to Step 1. It will perceive, reason, act, and learn over and over again, fixing its very own mistakes until the project is perfect. How cool is that?
But because of this continuous, hard-working loop, you do have to be a little patient. I mean, if you ask a normal AI a question, sure, you get an answer in 5 seconds. But because an agentic AI is actually doing heavy-duty work and checking its own mistakes, it might take up to 1 full hour to finish a complex task. Literally, it's just working away in the background for you, putting in all that time so you don't have to.
Okay, Section 3, AI agents in real science. Let's see how they're impacting academia.
Just take a look at this. Agentic AI is already touching every single field of science and research. It's not science fiction. We have specialized agents for chemistry, like Chemro and Co-Scientist. In biology, researchers are using things like Cell Agent. They're being used right now to invent totally new materials and even discover brand new life-saving drugs. These aren't just toys we're talking about. These are real, professional, scientific tools making a huge difference.
Let me give you a really concrete example from our source material. There's this general AI agent called Claude Cowork. Now, a real researcher asked this agent to create a highly complex literature review about a specific type of technology called OPV devices, which, by the way, are basically just special solar panels. They didn't just want a quick summary either. They wanted deep research, the most important academic papers, and a full gap analysis. That basically means figuring out exactly what information is missing in current science. And they needed all of this for a massive PhD project.
And here is just how wildly interactive the process is. Minute 1, the researcher uploads a single PDF document. The AI gets to work, but notice the middle of this timeline. At 5 minutes, the AI agent actually stops and asks the human a question. It says, hey, how deep do you want to go with this? I have 10 searches ready. Does this look good to you? The human says, yep, go ahead. The AI loads up specialized tools, searches the internet, connects to different apps, and literally within 15 minutes, it outputs a giant, detailed document. complete with tables and references. It even turned all that research into a full 10-minute presentation for a group meeting, completely automatically. I mean, wow.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4. Humans are still the boss. Let's talk about the need for oversight.
So, have you ever heard the term hallucinate when talking about AI? It's basically when an AI gets confused and just completely makes up false information or gets the facts totally wrong. And because Agentic AI is doing so much complex work behind the scenes, it can sometimes hallucinate big time. It's a real issue. So you can never, ever blindly trust the final project an AI hands you without double-checking it first.
Remember our intern analogy from earlier? Well, if the AI is the intern, that makes you the boss. The AI agent does all the heavy lifting. It formats those ugly presentations, it searches through hours of boring data, it does the really tedious stuff. But the human boss? You are in charge. You give the directions, you review what's called the audit log to see exactly what the AI did and what websites it visited, and you check for those hallucinations. You absolutely have to verify the work before you approve it. So humans aren't being replaced by this tech, we're literally just being promoted to managers.
At the end of the day, Agentic AI isn't just some cool new trick, it is the next great jump forward in how we learn and discover new things. Instead of spending hours formatting a slide or searching for one single article, you can just have your AI intern do it for you while you focus on the big, brilliant ideas. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought to take away from today's explainer. If you had your very own super smart AI helper right now, ready to work for an hour straight on absolutely anything you asked, what incredible scientific problem would you want it to solve? Think about it. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep asking those big questions.